Hello, my name is Andre Lintz, and in this video I will be discussing the situational analysis for SpMgt564, and I will be discussing the MDCC, which includes the macro environment, demand, competitor, and customer analysis, along with the as-is and SWOT analysis for the University of Idaho Athletic Department. To start, the MDCC, that macro environment, is defined as external factors that influence decision making, and for this I mainly talked about the economic state of Idaho, demographics, and legal and political matters. In terms of economic figures, the majority of the total population of Idaho, which is around 1.5 million, ranges from earning an annual income of $15,000 to $75,000 per year, and many of the citizens are involved in the agricultural industry. Moscow is also a small rural college town, which makes it different than a big city, big market that you'd find in much bigger, hosting much bigger colleges. In terms of demographic information that I found off the U.S. Census Bureau website, roughly 60% of the Idaho population falls between the ages of 18 through 65, which is a crucial marketing category, and 95% of the population of Idaho is Caucasian, and virtually there's an even split between men and women in Idaho. Legal and political climate. The state of Idaho is mainly a historically conservative state, but Moscow and Latah County differ in that they are primarily liberal, and that is Moscow. That's where the University of Idaho is located in. In my presentation, I included a 2010 U.S. Census results map of Idaho that breaks down each county and breaks down the population into race, and then yes, that's where you find the figures of Caucasians and other demographics. There's the next slide is talks about money and economic matters. The second part of the MDCC is demand, and I found an interesting figure on the NCAA website that says that a football bowl subdivision team, which is D1, must meet minimum attendance requirements of 15,000 for one out of one for every 2 years. And interestingly enough, Idaho has not met these requirements since 2008. So this factors like this are influencing whether they want to move down into the FCS division for football. We broke this down that the main issue for demand was that there's a lack of football culture at Idaho, and that competitors take away from this culture. The Kibbe Dome is also one of the smallest football facilities in the nation. It seats roughly 20,000 people, and the town of Moscow is about 22,000. So therefore, Idaho must focus on winning the city and getting the entire town of Moscow to attend home football games and create a hometown environment. Competitors, I mainly talked about Gonzaga University up in Spokane, Washington State University in Pullman, and Boise State University in Boise, Idaho. Gonzaga is primarily known as a national powerhouse in basketball, where they've had a lot of success and a lot of national attention over the last couple of years, and they've also been labeled as America's team. They, however, do not have a football program. They're primarily gain all their revenues through basketball. Washington State University is only 8 miles away in Pullman and competes in the Pac-12 conference, but is at the bottom of the conference in terms of overall athletic performance and revenue figures. But the new Pac-12 media deal guarantees each member institution at least $20 million annually. So Washington State has used that money to make big moves such as the hiring of Mike Leach and state-of-the-art facility renovations. Idaho's main rival is Boise, Boise State University, but Boise has gone away from wanting to even play Idaho or be considered in the same boat as Idaho because Boise has seen a lot of success. They've been one of the best football programs in the country over the last 10 years, and they have already moved into or committed moving into the Big East Conference, which is a automatic qualifier conference, which can only lead to more success, national attention, and revenue. In terms of customer analysis, I found some information. Idaho it's a very bleak picture for Idaho right now in terms of its customers and the overall market that it has an ability to tap into. Idaho is ranked 96th out of 122 teams in terms of total fans in the country, with a total of just under 170,000. In terms of comparing them to their own conference in the WAC, this is the middle of the road, and in terms of bigger competitors, national competitors, it is far from the pace and far from where Idaho wants to be. It's very also bleak. The picture is bleak for Idaho because the state of Idaho itself is the 39th most populous state in the country. In terms of as-is analysis, using data gained from New York Times, common census data, and TV market data, Idaho is considered to be the 113th best television market in the country. And yes, so you can look at the PowerPoint slide for further information. And the SWOT analysis, mainly the internal strengths of Idaho are that they don't have a lot of deficits in terms of the money that they have in their program. They do have a new basketball stadium and event center built. Their athletic director is a member of the BCS Governance Committee, so he has ties to important people. And they gained State Board of Education approval for independent status in football, meaning that they will no longer be in a conference for next year, which could also be an opportunity and a threat. Weakness is Idaho is in a very small market with a remote location for events. They have a high staff turnover within their athletic department. They, once again, do not have a conference affiliation, and they, as mentioned earlier, they do not draw well at their football games and have not had large success over the last couple of years in athletics. In terms of opportunities, there are much higher revenues possible from independent statuses. You could look at a case such as Notre Dame or BYU, where they actually signed with a network. But in order for that to happen, Idaho would have to a lot would have to happen, and Idaho would have to prove to be a national power in this athletic program. The ESPN and the WAC conference are offering the help with scheduling. There are elite teams looking for FBS level opponents for body bag games, which pretty much Idaho earlier this year played at LSU, and they got a large sum of money. But this is often seen as a larger program paying a smaller program money for a free win, basically. And finally, threats to the Idaho athletic department include other schools that don't want to schedule Idaho, such as Boise State. Recruits want FBS certainty, and right now the place that Idaho is in, switching to independency and possibly moving down to the Big Sky. It's very hard to recruit athletes to come to Idaho. The regional population has multiple choices for college teams, such as Gonzaga, Washington State, or Boise State. and the market is in a low income tax bracket. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. That is all.